Hello, my name is Jonathan Coleman, and I guess I get to be your tutor today, which is really cool. It's going to be interesting to try to convey my teaching style in a one-way method like this, but I'm just going to pick a topic and riff off of it. So being a kind of biologist by education, let's talk about a biological concept, and let's go with natural selection because it's super fundamental, it's important, and it's highly testable. You'll see this from the high school level all the way through college and beyond to even things like the MCAT. So let's talk about it. Natural selection was put forth by a very famous scientist by the name of Charles Darwin in his 1859 work, The Origin of Species. In this theory, Charles Darwin posits three main things to us. The first being that organisms reach a point of sexual maturity where they are capable of having offspring, but not all of the offspring will themselves make it to sexual maturity and therefore won't be able to pass on their traits. The second posit that he makes to us is that there's a chance traits that are heritable from the parent will be passed on to the offspring, and that any of these traits that are beneficial in the sense that they increase the survivability of the organism and they help it reach this point of sexual maturity, whether that makes them, faster, smarter, stronger, avoid predation, have better access to resources, all kinds of things. Any of those little tweaks or traits that help them be more survivable, those are deemed favorable. And then the third posit is that any organism that has accumulated many of these favorable traits will outcompete those that do not have these favorable traits. Thus, the favored organism is sort of like nature will select that organism in a sense, natural selection, and they're going to have more reproductive success because of these good traits. And their the offspring will be able to inherit these good traits from the parent, and you'll often see these positive traits sort of trickling down, and you'll see them deposited in subsequent generations as it propagates down the line. You can have the inverse of this as well. Any organism that accumulates a lot of negative traits often doesn't survive long enough to pass on those negative traits. So nature doesn't select the bad traits, it's selecting the good ones. This reproductive success for these good traits is deemed fitness, and it is why we call this theory survival of the fittest. And there's all different types of selective pressures, and there's a genetic component to this. Charles Darwin didn't understand genetics. He just knew things could be inherited from like down a family line. But we pair this theory that Darwin presented with us with our modern understanding of genetics to create kind of the modern theory we use today, which is the neo-Darwinism theory, or the synthesis model, modern synthesis model of evolution. And there are also a couple different types of selection and those genetic components that we can go about in another video or something, or another tutoring session. But I think I'll stop it there because I'm limited on time. I hope you enjoyed and learned something about biology, maybe learned something about me. And yeah, thank you.